The rocky road to Cumbria.
Today, the gang leaves Shrouded Hills, goes south to Dernholm, does kind of a pit stop, sees the sights, and then maybe visits a Wolfden on the way, and then continues on to Tarant. So this is our Tugging Towards Tarant teaser episode. And I'm David, of course, and joined by, who are you?
The one and only Gabriel K. Sinclair, in so extraordinaire, and Spangma Male in Chief of Tookies Mag.
and double characters. Your split playthrough is still going, as I understand it.
Yeah, my Dark Elf has not been lynched yet. Well, my half orc, sadly, his trip literally ended. His journey ended in Shrouded Hills.
We don't have joke name conventions for like these episodes, but the last episode came so close to calling it the low IQ lynch build. I literally typed it out. I almost put it out. I was like, you know what? That might get attention in a way I don't want it. I want these episodes to be for everybody. So let's keep playing it straight.
Yeah, let's wait to isolate our audience once we hit the Gnome network.
Yeah. I want to do just a real quick plot summary. Where are we in the story? We crash landed. We met the gnome who talked about Stoic of the Great Evil and gave us his ring. And so we're now on a quest, having left the small town of Shrouded Hills, to find the owner of this ring that somehow connects to this mystery. Also leading us from Shrouded Hill, which is in Tarant. There's a jeweler. The P. Schuyler and Sons is the jeweler that may know where the person is that we need to find. So we're going that way. What else leads us to Tarant? There's also the quest that we're on with the mine, which will eventually lead us to Tarant. And this is really, I want to do this one as a teaser, kind of to head off. There's so much in Tarant that if we go right there, I feel like there's still concepts we haven't explained and explored. That the first episode of Tarant is going to be 8 hours. So I'm trying to head it off by tugging southwards instead to Dernholm, the magical city of a crumbling empire, and also to recruit myself Jaina, who, for those that play the game know, she's our smart girl. She's our tech girl with sort of a bent towards healing. And so, Gabe, did your magical guy, did he resent this trip since he had no purpose there, or did you find any meaning?
Well, I first did it with my tech character, Build a Bomb, and when he met Jaina, he thought she was a libtarded woke bitch, so he burnt her house down with Molotovs.
Sounds about right. Oh, and before actually we go down south, I did want to do wrap up in Shrouded Hills, because last time we were talking about doing Shrouded Hills in like 2 distinct episodes. We ended up basically just covering it in that one, like all the meat of it. If you have anything else, Gabe, that happened there, let me know. There was like 2 things I want to tell you. I mentioned it briefly, the thieving shit I got up to.
Oh, yeah, because I've never played a thieving build, so I would love to hear see your footage of a proper thief build.
Yeah. Oh, it got really cheesy. So first, Ritz Easy, your friend, I picked his pocket guy's key. I mentioned that to you last time, and I went into his back room. I got access to his cabinet where he kept a receipt where P. Schuyler and Sons is. So I was like, okay, I know to get there. But also, I didn't mention in his back room he has a barrel with all of his inventory, everything he owns. So you know what you can do?
What?
Just take it all and then step into the next room and sell it all to him.
Oh, Todd doesn't like that.
Yeah.
That ruins my balance.
That's not my best. I actually didn't steal all of it. I stole like a couple things. I sold to him. I was like, this is a little too cheesy. Apparently this is a known scheme people can run. But you know who I did rob was Lloyd Gerlo's next door. I waited till he went to sleep. My guy is a decent pickpocket. I think I have 2 points in it. So I just picked his pocket a bunch of times, stole all of his money. Because with pickpocket, you can steal up to 100 coin at a time, which isn't like a lot, but that adds up pretty quick, or this early in the game in particular. And so I just stole all his money and then bought his inventory with his money. And then he went to sleep and I stole my money back.
Yeah, with characters that are asleep, it's basically guaranteed pickpocketing success, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, unless you have like very, very bad thieving skills, maybe there's some risk. But for my guy, I think it. I don't know. I think they can wake, but it's very, very low risk, especially if you save scum, which I generally didn't. I tried to give myself like a 3 shots you're out kind of rule, and I didn't milk him for everything he was worth. I tried to keep it all kind of in a reasonable balance, but I did. When I beat the gate guard guys, I was wearing just my basic ass suit, and now I got some leather armor leaving the city.
Well, actually, they're aren't the guys at the gate at least associated with thieves guilds? So wouldn't you rather be part of their like be on the good side?
They're wannabe thieves guild because the persuasion game you run on them, if you're if you have 2 points in persuasion, you can convince them you're part of the thieves guild, and they say, "Oh, can we join you? Is there any way we can get in?" And then you can like say, "Oh, I'll put in the good word if you just let me through without any issue."
Oh yeah, they're thief weebs. Yeah, yeah.
So I think those were the two kind of antics that cracked me up. I already told you about fighting the bartender and pickpocketing
Yeah.
the guy who had me rob the bank. So just all to say, thieving really does pay. Like, I would really highly recommend anybody that plays through this to consider a thieving. Maybe have some other skills, like my guy has melee and backstab, like be able to survive a fight. You could do guns or whatever. Literally anything would work. But he left with a fat stack of money and a solid set of equipment, which I probably should have done before I fought the guys at the gate. It would have been easier. But yeah, crime pays.
Yeah, thieving builds mechanically have such opportunities to be fun. Just really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
But if you play first-person RPGs because they don't know how to do level design properly, like thieving builds end up being also because thanks to Todd's law and no fun allowed, they hide all merchants' inventory are no clipped chests underneath the maps,
Mm-hmm.
so you have no access to them. Which should be fair. Yes, it prevents it from being broken, but also it makes thieving builds basically pointless.
Yeah, it really robs you to robbing pre-made stuff. And the fun of this isometric game and games that are more fun to be a thief in is like, yeah, it's like, I know I'm breaking it a little bit. I'm cheesing the AI, but you can have stolen flags on items and stuff like that to compensate. But something about just being able to do it. And then I can set my own limits. Like, with Ritz Easy, I was just like, okay, I stole, I sold him like 2 of his things back. That's good. I got my thrill out of it. And maybe a power gamer, somebody wants to speed run, can cheese it. But that's kind of the joy of it is it's very open ended, and it takes
Yeah,
advantage of the day night cycle too, right? Like you mentioned, pickpocketing at night, thieving at night is easier, so it actually serves a purpose.
yeah. Instead of just purely being graphical, or like some traits, I think in New Vegas, you have the morning early bird trait where if you're between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., you have 2+ to all your special.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, unless you have that trait, day and night cycles are basically only plot dependent.
And that was really it for Shrouded Hills. We'll come back here briefly. We have a quest or two that might bring us back, but otherwise, we're done with the meat of it. And we set out, and we do fight. I don't know if we mentioned last time, we do fight that little gnome who asked for our ring on the way out of the gate. Last time we got kind of sidetracked because you live streamed your battle, which was
Yeah,
pretty great.
yeah. This particular character really got his comeuppance basically.
The mage pride, not worldwide at that time. And we make the journey south. I got a couple thoughts. So I want to use this episode again to talk about some of these kind of in between topics. So on our journey south, let's talk the travel mechanics as we hit the road. You step out, we've done this once before just to get to Shrouded Hills, but your little map icon turns blue. You can fast travel. You fast travel. How was the journey south for you? Did you have any rough experiences, or I guess thoughts on just the travel mechanic itself?
The travel mechanic it kind of feels a bit more clunky than even in Fallout, I'd say. For some reason, overmap travel mechanics in Fallout 1 and 2 feel a lot more intuitive
Mm-hmm.
than the overworld travel in Arcanum. I know if it's just the dots, or the fact you can't just go in a straight line. Talk about you had to plot your course.
There's more rivers, right? Like Fallout, as I remember, is just like a big flat. Obviously they have textured mountains or whatever. I think they slow you down a little bit, but otherwise you just click and you go. But here there's a bunch of mountains, there's a bunch of rivers. It feels like you move slower too.
You are factually, you feel a lot slower.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole okay, there's a lot to this. I listened to His Majesty Mr. Cain's one or two of his videos related to this a while back. One of them, I don't even want to admit I did this. He talks about fast travel. He has a fast travel. I think it's just called the fast travel episode he did. And he talks about the benefits of fast travel and all this. He talks about Arcanum specifically, how if you go slower, you see different encounters if you travel faster. And so, Gabe, as your loyal podcast co-host, I tried manually walking to Dernholm from Shrouded Hills.
You try to get that Daggerfall cred, right? Like,
Yeah.
like that's a big flex in that community. It's like, oh, I don't fast travel. I just do. I literally take 3 hours to walk to the nearest town in real time.
Yeah, I just ruin the joints in my middle finger pressing the W key. Like, why not? I don't want to steal gamer valor. I did it for 10 minutes. I was just curious if something would pop up, anything would pop up, but it was just proc gen trees and shrubbery for as far as I could see. And you can't even run in a straight line. You'll hold, you click and hold in Arcanum and your guy will just keep running that direction. And he will like run into a tree. It's like, oh fuck, I got to like re-click, navigate down, around. All right, go right. It happens again a minute later. So it's extremely not the way to play, and nothing happened. So all I have to say, if in case anyone ever has this thought, save yourself 10 minutes. It doesn't serve a purpose.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Like, what do you fair? He says that the proc gen was kind of necessary, and he makes a good defense of proc gen stuff. He's like, like he admits that certain other games from certain lords that shall not be named, but the potentiality of proc gen stuff can really be really intuitive and really be in depth and complex, and really add narrative weight and add to the character and role playing.
Yeah, if it's done right, for sure. And this kind of a proc gen operation, and you have the random encounters which vary somewhat by region. They're highly variable, which is another thing actually Cain mentioned in, maybe it was the fast travel video, was another one, but he talked about having really wide varieties of encounters help. Because in my playthrough, I can't remember if it was going north or south, but on this back and forth journey we did for this episode, I ran into a were-rat, werewolves. I ran into a brown bear. Last time we actually said it was black bear. Black bears are manageable. Brown bears will just rape you instantly.
Yeah, will fuck you up.
Yeah, one hit kill. And so me and Virgil just got instantly slaughtered. It's like, okay, load save. So again, this is a game from 2001. Your save game has to be on point. That's part of the challenge.
Yeah, a total zoomer death basically. There's no auto saves.
Otherwise, it really is very similar to the Fallout system for people familiar. You travel, your little dot moves. Every now and then you get a random encounter. Sometimes they talk to you. A lot of times it's just a couple critters, and it's nothing. I do find it. I will see as we play over the course of the game. I remember finding it kind of grating. At this point, it's like a thrilling / terrifying experience to fast travel anywhere.
Well, it's also a good way to grind, and because with the lycanthropes or the werewolves, they're not that too tough, I'd say.
I think the were-rat was harder than the werewolves.
Yeah, the werewolves are a big letdown, actually.
Yeah,
the Arcanum
they're kind of even short. Like they're manlet werewolves, and the were-rat is like twice my guy's height. It was pretty wild actually, because I think I experienced it back to back. I was like, damn, there's a lot of were animals in this neighborhood.
Yeah, the rats, all the variety of rats in Arcanum will fuck you up, including certain mountain clan rats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some granite rats. Oh, wonderful. But your point about grinding, I think I leveled up like 3 times over this. This is a pretty short, like the section we're talking about today was like pretty short. And I just leveled up like crazy traveling. And so it really is probably, if you want to just grind real quick in the game, just walk in circles between Shrouded Hills and Tarant, if your equipment is decent, is a pretty safe way to do it.
Yeah, but you can end up being over leveled, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Like we both know a gentleman who is already level 20, just he barely left Tarant just to sheer grind.
Well, actually, that brings me to a major point I want to cover. Because the whole reason we're doing this detour, we're going south of Dernholm, because yours truly, Old Davy, I wanted to pick up a recruit, Jaina. And so my question to you to think about, or respond now if you have thoughts, is does Arcanum have a guide disease? Like, you need a guide, reference disease, where you have to, if you don't know something, you're just going to fuck yourself up. And specifically with Jaina, I forget exact level. I think she's level 4 or something like that. So if I go to her now, my guy's level 5 or so. No, I think she's level 6 or 7 or something. So my guy's at level 5 leaving Shrouded Hills, which I think is a pretty normal, within a level or so of that. I get down there, I'm probably level 6 or 7. She'll join me if I have a tech of a certain level, and if my alignment's a certain thing, we'll cover that when we recruit her. But if I instead went just straight to Tarant, which is what I do in almost every playthrough prior to this, when I got this far, if I go back there, I'm going to be fucked, because she's going to be level 7. I'll be level 18 or something. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I have a really weak party member because I just didn't know they existed. And maybe my build needed it, maybe my build didn't. It just seems odd to me, especially with her, because she is a tech healer. You otherwise won't find a tech healer. And most people, especially when this came out, I don't think they had access to custom leveling their characters. I think that's a mod thing. That's a UAP thing. To turn off the automated leveling.
You do basically spoon feed their leveling for them.
It's a little bit more work, so I don't think it's required. But to me, it makes the game more fun because you can kind of customize your party. Do you think the game suffers for that? It's okay if you don't have an answer now, but
I would say it's finicky for sure, but I wouldn't say it straight up suffers. I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And we get down to, all right, well, anything else on travel?
I really, other than, it doesn't, it could be circumstantial. The thing is, travel, the overworld map can be avoided. You know what I mean? You can avoid travel using trains or spells. But I really wish, this is one good thing with Fallout 2 at the very least. It's, I know Tim Cain's ears are burning by saying something positive about that hell, the hellish
I'm the Fallout 1 guy, Tim. If you're listening, call me.
Well, Fallout 2 at least gives you a car. It gives you the highway ban. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you can easily avoid. There's mechanicals. I think there's also a lot more random encounters in Fallout 2 than there is in Arcanum.
Oh, yeah.
Like Easter egg stuff.
Yeah.
Like traveling just much more, I think, fun, the potentiality. You're like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to get with my luck. Sometimes you just raise your luck just so you can see something interesting in Fallout 2.
Yeah. Well, in this, you really don't. And there's no caravan encounters or the equivalent, right? You don't just see people chatting out in nature.
Yeah, there's no gypsies. Literally, they have gypsies in the game, but there's no wandering gypsies.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could, if you just finish it going through a mine or finding a bunch of unidentified stuff, you just real quick drop a couple gold to have it identified right there and then.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think that does make the world feel smaller, that it's either Malokian hand guys out to kill you that you encounter, or it's just wild animals trying to eat you. Whereas, yeah, in Fallout you had, I'm trying to remember all of them, but I remember you could, like, in Fallout 2, you encounter slaver groups, like, attacking people. You encounter caravans, you encounter, like, refugees, and, all sorts of stuff that mechanically didn't offer a ton, but it, like, narratively fleshed out the world. Whereas this is always very straightforward. And also, an hourly kneel to Todd. Like in Morrowind and most other Elder Scrolls games, you often have some form of fast travel from the first village. This one you don't. Shrouded Hills forces you to slow travel, which may not fit all builds, right? Like certain persuasion builds or maybe more inventory builds. This is probably more of a terrifying trek than it is for our guys, because both of our guys, well, all three, because you have kind of two guys who are juggling right now, but they all have pretty good combat stats that we've worked on. Yeah, no, I think that's a really astute observation. We'll cover. Obviously, we're going to travel out more into the game, so if we have any more thoughts, we can always jump in. But otherwise, it's just going to be happening in the background as we run around and just kill ailing wolves. If only they were all ailing wolves. Unfortunately, they're going to be tougher soon.
Well, even with the best, even of RPG legends, the ailing wolves can kick certain people's ass.
We get to Dernholm. Do you want to, I guess, walk us through what was your experience of Dernholm?
Well, I came in there; it was already nighttime, and it leaves a very strong impression. It sets up the overall theme or motif of Dernholm / Cumbria very well, because you're in the courtyard, you see not a magazine, you see a newspaper on the floor, the Tarantian Times. Is it Tarantian Times? Hold on, just the Tarantian, right? And the first thing you see is on the floor, and on the front page is Councilman urges war in Kaladin. And basically, the Tarant. What we know of Tarant is that it is the industrial hub of this world. It is industrial. It is a parliament, and apparently they're worried about like a certain totally unrelated to real life events, but they feel like since there's such a strong magic community in Tarant, that if there was a country bordering it to itself. It could the country bordering to itself may potentially fan to flames.
They might be enriching magical power staves, right? Over in Caladon.
Yeah, you'll see a Cumbrian mage standing on top of a burning train, flying the flag of the king of Cumbria.
Death to Tarant.
Yeah, speaking in pure Elvish, English Elvish mix.
Oh God, yeah. No, I noticed that too. And it's funny that they don't even have their own newspaper because I guess they're not technological, right? So they don't have printing presses, probably.
Yeah, too trad.
Too trad for a newspaper. Yeah, I think my guy got there at night too. And maybe it's just like the distance to get there. It just took him a while, the same amount of time for both our guys.
And the aura is so strong because right next to that is the statue. Of the Pope-looking king that's slowly sinking to the ground.
Yeah, he's like a 45-degree angle. It's not looking good in a swampy ass ground.
It leaves such a strong impression.
Yeah, and I mostly stuck to the front. I don't know if you mentioned you might have done a little bit more running around Dernholm, but what did I do? I pickpocketed. It'll be in the loop on YouTube. I pickpocketed into like the gatehouse. I stole a bunch of magic potions in there, which my guy can still use because he's not that tech yet. And the sort of the main places to see for us is following up on the Bessie Toon quest. The mine is cursed. The mother ghost was wishing to meet her daughter, so I went to her, and her is pretty straightforward. It's kind of the woe was me, classic woman seeking a white knight. Am I right, Gabe? I don't have any money, but
you give me my best regards, and of course, I think her reputation does go to love. So you give her version of Twitch streams of Twitch.
Wait, you told her you'd help her?
What you were talking about the same girl? Oh wait,
yeah, the Bessie Toon daughter.
Yeah, I helped her.
Wow, I thought you were the true sell of this podcast. Okay, well, I didn't promise. I said maybe I'll think about it, and I get negative 10, and she already hates me because I'm fucking ugly. So I'm down to like 20 reaction, which is I think hate or despise.
Yeah, well, her brother was a dick to me.
Yeah, and she called me a manlet when I came in. Like she shit on me really, and her brother was actually pretty nice to me. So I'm leaning towards helping him at this point. I haven't done anything yet. I'm just saying I left my options on the table because what has she done for me?
And remember, Build-A-Bomb is the anti-tech technologist, and the brother wants to pimp out the mine to a Tarantian businessman, therefore accelerating technology and industry, while the sister wants to keep it local and keep it in the family. So it's a D-cell move, actually. So for my role play, it makes more sense to slow down the technological progress through siding with her.
So she's Build-A-Bomb's, white farmhouse dress GF is his vision.
Yeah, go down in the mines, bitch. You pick your own coal. No half-orc slave labor for you. We're sending them back. Pick your own ore.
Yeah, well, that is the conclusion. Like you said, she directs you to Tarant because he's all evasive when you're like, well, who owns the fucking mine now? He's like, no, don't worry about it. you find out where her sister is, so we want to meet her. She tells you the name. What I forget is it? I think it's Stanton Importers in Tarant. So it's like, okay, we got a name. She may have even give you the address. If not, it's pretty easy to find when you're there. So we'll check them out. We'll progress to the next thing once we actually get to Tarant, which is our next destination. I also did a pickup. I don't know if you followed up with Jungle Dunn's little like package quest. It's a pretty nothing burger quest. You just go to visit a trader and you ask for a package in his name, and he gives you like a little pouch with some.
Yeah, the trader's name starts with D. Actually, it's in Dernholm, I think.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah, it is, and you just gotta give it back to him. It's a very very straightforward little.
Is it Dolan? I can't remember.
I don't either. I think I actually bought some fuel from him for my Molotov cocktails. So I actually did some deals with him while I was there anyway. So it was a very convenient quest.
No, the shops are quite good actually. It surprised me, despite being an anti-tech town, or half the electric lights. I'm surprised they even have electric lights to begin with. Half of them don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to. I'm in Dernholm right now. I'm trying to find this. Oh, there it is. He's on the far western side. Dolan's General Store. It is Dolan.
Good memory, man.
There we go. Yes, I led a crippled old man here while he was attacking me across town.
How did that happen?
Well, I was exploring the town because I generally liked it. It started off with such a strong aura, and you can't even read the road signs. By the way, the street addresses, they're all like ancient pieces of wood and hanging around, so the street names aren't eligible. So I'm exploring. I found this lady named Gladys, and she's looking for an old ring that her son, or no, I think it's son, her son had. Now, the lore of Dernholm is that about 20 years back, there was a big plague. So it's very Russia coded. So there's a bunch of plagues. The last king was super trad, but very anti-technology. The last king, the good king, despite being the great king, and he had his dragon soldiers, the dragon knights, full plate armor, trained since birth to be the greatest knights of the land. Totally got their ass kicked by half gnomish men and normies with guns. And there's a good line actually. Arcanum is actually a very well written game. Actually, there's this great line like mountains of steel in a sea of blood, standing atop a sea of blood, or floating atop a sea of blood. You just see these bodies of these beautiful knights just floating on top of their own blood. And so we read this lore. So this old widow who has no family left because both of them were killed by the disease or plague. So she is missing a ring. So you had to find it from this old man Archibald, who was supposed to be her brother-in-law, because their children were supposed to be married, right? But he refuses to give the ring. And there's this weird elderly guy, like gynocric cuckoldry thing going on, kind of. Like he likes saying no to all the young men she sends over to ask for the ring back. He's according to his son. That's part of the game they play. That's their only is their version of Boomer Facebook. It's just fucking with each other and sending like random Joe blows for the ring back and forth. And so, and the thing is, my character, but Build a Bomb, I for my traits I did extreme personality. So if you say something negative, it's double negative. If you say something positive, it's double positive perception in terms of being recipient. Now here's the thing: at one point in a dialogue tree, you're going to have to say either choice A or choice B is going to result in a negative reaction, right? But in a normal, without the extreme personality, it leads to one more dialogue option where he tells you to fuck off. Here, because of my extreme personality, it doubles a negative reaction from him, so he just instantly aggros.
Oh my god! Do you have any warning? I've never done extreme personality, but I'm interested in it now. Like, do you know how it's gonna hit, or is it just luck of the draw?
I think it's just doubled. I think you read the context clues of the text you're going to say, and it's going to be negative. But if it's negative, you assume it's going to be doubled. So this man instantly, I can't do the quest the normal way. I would have to pickpocket the ring off his sleeping body,
or dead body.
The quest. Yeah, or a dead body. Right, but she gets mad at you. She sees out for destroying her favorite old elderly simp.
She doesn't actually want the ring. She wants attention. Like all women, gentlemen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for such a fantastical setting, it's very red pilled on, very accurate to real life relations in more ways than one.
I mean, maybe Cain is onto something. It probably wasn't actually Cain. It was probably the lady in the office that wrote this one. No, that's funny. I love that. You shared a video. I'm gonna put it in the YouTube thing. Hopefully, I can frame it over this part. We'll see. If not, people click around. You'll figure it out. Of just just running in circles after you and collapsing in the middle of a shop because he couldn't keep up with those youngins. You didn't even steal from him, right? You just literally just said something rude, and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you now."
I'm gonna... it's what if I ever had an IRL conversation with Cap. You know,
Unironically, Gabe, you do have extreme personality, and Cap is an old man, so it would probably if you be in a cafe, it would turn into him just chasing you around and you saying the same thing incorrectly or misphrasing it.
After our 30th argument over the definition of au pair.
Yeah. Or no, what's the other one? The novel format, the letters.
Epistolary.
Just keep saying epistolary.
Oh, no! Oh, his aggro bark is like, the news of your death is going to be an epistolary experience for your mother when she reads about it. I'll write the letter myself in your blood, Gabe.
But wait, so did you never resolve that? You just ran away? Like, what happened?
But my character, Build-A-Bomb, literally cannot resolve the quest because it involves talking.
Where is the guy, though?
By the docks, or by the eastern side of the town.
So he wandered home to his little cuck shed after failing to catch you. Okay.
Yeah, after you give him the slip at Dolan's, you just walk away.
Yeah.
You let the old man literally everyone's there. He's got good cardio for his age. We ran the entirety around the castle. We went around the castle by the pits, looped all the way to Dolan's. It was a big giant U. Most exercise that old Archie got in decades.
I mean, you were talking about jank. To me, that's the kind of jank that just adds a lot to be able to have the option to do that. Yeah, I didn't go back, so I didn't do that one. Was there any other kind of like loose end quests that you did while in town? Because I just did all I did was recruit after this, so we can do the.
Well, other than Betsy Toons, but yeah, it's other than Betsy Toons' daughter, the King's Inn. There's a great encounters at the King's Inn.
Oh, yeah, that's where everybody goes to socialize, right? Yeah, I stopped in there too. Funny enough.
Yeah, and when you're telling the street urchin, the homeless halfling, to fuck off and get a job,
get some free evil points. That's a thing, right? You can farm. You can farm homeless people in this game for good and evil, which we'll cover in a minute. I want to do a whole little alignment thing.
Well, my magic dude is permanently negative 10 karma. You play a dark elf, you cannot have anything above a negative 10.
Oh, right. Which is really good, by the way, if you want to do an evil playthrough. Well, actually, I keep trying to pull myself into alignments. I want to talk about good and evil alignments, but first, did anything happen in the tavern game? Because I went in and actually, what did I talk to? I talked to a really nice young man, a gnome, who was very friendly and just kind of wished me well in my adventures. And I know there's some wild stuff that happened in taverns. I had a nice drink. I didn't go over the top. Everyone had a good time. Me and Virgil laughed. Nothing crazy happened for me at all.
Really? Well, a young housewife, I want to be part of an adventurous outside world. Like, do you know anything about the Crassus the Zephyr? And of course, I spill my spaghetti, revealing myself that I am indeed the last survivor of the Zephyr. Yeah. And then the guy she's drinking with tells you to fuck off. Sometimes he tells you to straight the fuck off, and sometimes he tells you his story. Mm-hmm. And then it's revealed, surprise, he's a Milwaukeean hand. He's a member of the Milwaukeean hand. He wants to kill you. Mm-hmm. And other times, he's just a dick. And he will force you to kiss his feet, literally kiss his shoe.
Wait a minute.
If you're that scared to fight him off.
He just laughs at you. I've done that in past playthroughs where I'm just like, I haven't saved in a while. I just got cucked by, I'm a level 3 or level 5 guy, and this guy's level 30. He's a high level. It's no joke to fight him.
He's half. I think the guy in the King's Inn is half orc, actually. Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, no. I see his dead body. His dead body's right in front of the door. Actually, yep, half orc villager. Mm-hmm.
Does it say the level when he's dead?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. It's just dead.
I just remember the people in there are pretty high level for this part of the game. So it's like you kind of want to watch your shit. I got lucky. Nobody Nobody bullied me. I just, I got the rumors like you were saying. This is where I learned about, the charge of the cavalry. I think the bartender, somebody talks about it. Also, there's, I did talk to, I think it's Lisa Peldar, who's the daughter of, I think she comes in later in the game, but for now, she's just sort of a famous warrior that you kind of can chat to.
She's a tomboy of the girl dad. She's peak girl dad energy. Her dad was like the head dragon knight of Cumbria. And so, of course, no son, so you had to train your girl. Like, fuck dolls, I'm going to teach you to use throwing knives.
Yeah. Woke gaming? I think she's a trainer, too, if you're into throwing. I think she's like maybe your master. It's a whole thing in this game. Every skill has a master trainer, and there's only one. So it's kind of you have to find them and do quests for them. I think she's throwing. It might be somebody else.
Right, she's expert trainer. I think she's an expert.
Okay,
trainer.
So expert's the middle level because it's apprentice, expert, master. I think there's not a lot of experts. There's like 3 experts or something. It's not. They're somewhat rare, but you can still kill them and not worry about it.
You don't have to level up throwing. For my personal character, maybe 2 points, just because Molotovs are really good. Not just because of the damage, but because of the pushback. There's a blowback effect.
Mm-hmm. My guy uses them for the same. My thief guy uses it for the same reason because my guy's backstab. So if people are like blocking, like 2 of them side by side in a hallway, can't get around, you throw that. It does good damage too, but then you can get around and stab them in the back, and it's a what's the term they use in WoW? It's a like a control class kind of thing.
Right, it allows a lot of control, and you could spam it too, which is good. I think the blowback stacks.
I actually don't know. It is very good though, especially for the amount. I would say the Molotov is probably the tech equivalent of harm. It's not as good, but it's one of those you can just throw 1 point into it, and it's like you have a very reliable source of damage. And did you do apprentice training for your throw at all?
I got it up to 2 points at the very least, I think.
But did you get training, Gabe?
For Build-A-Bomb, I believe I think I am an apprentice thrower.
Okay, good.
Hold on. Yeah, let me go to my chat, my stats.
I don't remember what expert does versus apprentice, but this is definitely a game where, especially apprentice training, you need to just get that shit as soon as possible for everything.
Yep. I am an apprentice on throwing.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that gives you a speed bonus. So I think it takes like 2 instead of 3 action points or something. And in real time, it's the same. It's still faster. But
yeah, and with tech builds, because the 3 best bombs, because I found that I can make stun grenades, I can make flash grenades, flash grenades actually are pretty good because the blinding effect actually is pretty decent actually.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you get the hat of what's the hat called? The chapeau of magnetic inversion, because it helps you dodge as well. So you get that flush, like a good blinding. You get a good blinding throw, you will manage to not get hit a decent amount.
Yeah, I think I might build towards, because I was unsure if I wanted to do with backstab builds, being able to get that 5x damage from an enemy that doesn't detect you. You can get it by having them be stunned or by being prowled behind them. And so apparently people use the stun spell, but I'm kind of going more tech builds. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go into stun grenades instead. But I don't think I've ever used them before. So
But the thing is, stun grenades, you have to go through Molotov cocktail, flash grenades, a smoke grenade, stun grenade. You have to go. It's the 4th perk in the explosive technician tree.
Yeah,
so it's going to take a little while to get the grenade.
Yeah, I gotta grind. Get on that grind. Okay, but all right. Moving on to Dernholm, though, I want to get to my wife, Jaina. And I have a whole little subsection here. While we're on Jaina, I want to talk about alignments in general, the good and evil alignment and the magic and tech alignment. We've talked about it before, but just kind of thinking about it in terms of character build and all that. And Jaina herself, let's introduce my wife. Jaina Stiles is a beautiful young woman. She's only 40 years old, Gabe, as I learned after I recruited her. There's still an egg or 2 rattling around in there. I didn't. Why is she that old? That baffled me. She does not read I should have asked you before, but yeah, what would you guess her age was before I'd said
I,
that?
I was gonna say 20 something.
Yeah, because her dialogue is like, "Oh, my parents died, so I'm alone in this house, and I want to become a technologist, but I just this you can't even speak, don't even say the word. We might get in trouble in this oppressed land of Cumbria." She's a half elf. She has good alignment and she's technologically aligned. And to recruit her, all you
Oh,
have.
she's half elf, so maybe 40. She's like I wonder how the aging works with half,
I
like with mixed
I
race.
think it's like with black people. I think it's black people rules where like 40 is like you're like, wait, is she 30? And you're like, shit, she ain't 30, she 40. Girl,
Okay, so she
girl, you still
you got
got
30.
it.
So she's got a baker's dozen left eggs left instead of one or two.
Yeah, true. The half elf probably does edge that up. Her profile pic, just saying, bro. Are you looking at her on the wiki right now?
Well, I firebombed that bitch a long time ago for being a woke boss bitch.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm trying to think of the meme here. Tech GF in a mini. Tech GF burning in burning in Inferno. Itty bitty bandage and a bob, or I don't know. I'm sure you could do a million memes on her.
Tech GF in a void. Check Tech GF in the void.
So yeah, she's level 6 when you get her, and she has a couple points into herbology, so she can build you healing kits right away. The basic healing kit with tech is huge to have, since you're gonna, at this point with me, Virgil, every like third 1 in 3 heal attempts just fizzles out, so he burns fatigue for no reason. And her requirement is, and she tells you her story. Her parents died in the plague that you mentioned, Gabe, and she's just like, I kind of want to see the world. She's not voiced. She's very little interaction or dialogue after you recruit her too. So you just kind of get her story, and she'll join you as a support character with a tech background. Also, turn her fucking auto level off because she puts points into beauty. I don't know why. I mean, yes, I understand. I see her character portrait. She is a mid. I don't think 2 more points into beauty will help when we could put those points in dexterity. Okay, Jaina, let's keep our eyes on the prize, honey.
You're not a shallow halfling. Well, to be fair, with your like inbred, weird looking, fucking Nosferatu looking ass, even her lowest, like even with 0 beauty stats, she'd still be more attracted than you.
Yeah, I guess it's all relatives. Yeah, she's a halfling. She's a Burroughs 10, right? Compared to Mr. Maddock, who's got warts on his nose and all that.
I'm surprised that you didn't get any negative reactions in the King's Inn actually as a halfling with how ugly you were.
No, I'm just not talking about at this point. Everyone is calling me fucking stupid piece of shit. Get away from me. Like, I don't talk to your type. No, so when I don't say anything, just assume I'm dying on the inside and everyone hates me. I'm gonna have to figure out a solution to this at some point.
Oh, that's nothing fantastical. That happens to me in real life when I try to talk to women in bars.
So true. Maddock is definitely an incel coded. Though he has success in certain ways. I guess
he's a sensitive short king.
He's a sensitive short king. But to recruit Jaina, because did you offer to have her join you?
I did. Well, I talked to her, but it's just after I met the king. I remember Bill the Bomb is Teddy K pilled and hates women anyway. So I was like, I like, listen, she wants to bring the woke mind virus from Tarant. This is the only place in this damn island that's not surrounded by half ogre guards and gnomes. If you notice, no gnomes. There's no gnomes. There's a trad magical guild, but they fucked off. It's purely human actually here, other than a halfling inside the. You got some halfling bums here and there. But it's a pure trad paradise. This is a white boy North Korea, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. What is it? Judaism? It's magical Judaism or whatever.
It's feudal Judaism. Yeah, Judaism, right? Yeah. It's white coat. It's Lindy. And so I'm like, I'm not going to let this bitch infect this poor town with the woke mind virus.
It's up to me. I have to save the revolution. I'm doing this for you, big guy.
I'm King Albert's top guy.
I'm glad you caught that reference. Okay. So my recruiting her, I did recruit her. So now I have both Virgil and Jaina. To recruit her though, because it's interesting to think through this now, because in Shrouded Hills you have two people you can recruit. Virgil from even before you get into the town, Soggy
And Soggy.
Mead, aka Sog Mead Mug, who you recruit in the tavern if you have charisma 9, which is just a pinch above starting charisma. So both of these guys are actually pretty unique. There's only one other character I think who is like this, where they do not check your alignment. They do not, in terms of good or evil, they do not check your alignment in terms of tech magic. Every other recruitable character in the game, except for one, which is the dog, as far as I understand, checks these and will join or not join you based on these stats. And so good is on the left side of your little character sheet. There's a little ENG scale, goes from 100 one way, 100 the other. It basically is just if you fuck people over in terms of quests, you get evil. And I think if you kill very good people, you get evil points. I don't know if you have any deeper understanding of it in that game. From what I read online, it was very simplistic and it kind of feels tacked on to me.
Well, the morality.
Yeah, the whole morality scale, the good and evil scale you have on your character sheet.
If I recall correctly, the morality stuff it gets checked more thoroughly later on, more in mid/late game, if I recall correctly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Early stuff I don't recall because you can, for example, Vollinger, the halfling. Yeah, if you can actually recruit that halfling inside the king's inn. He's Vollinger actually. That's his name. He's a gunman actually. He's a gunslinger. But so yeah, so. He has a negative 25. He's technically evil, and there's a lot of foreshadowing in that character because Virgil, he say, "Hey, listen, I'm not sure about this."
Yeah, this guy's
about,
weird.
I'm not sure about this. Sorry, he's not halfling; he's a gnome. And so Virgil's like, "Listen, I grew up on the streets. I'm from the hood. I'm that Wigga. Listen, my Wigga senses are tickling with this gnome, dude."
Yeah, he's not down. He's not down with it, bro.
Listen, Virgil's not racist. He's just prejudiced. He's just racial aware.
Mm-hmm.
So Virgil's like, listen, I'm not sure about this guy, but he's a gnome with a gunsmith. He's got a decent gun in his inventory. It does like 2 to 5 damage, if I recall correctly. I think it's a fancy revolver or fancy pistol.
That's like a solid mid-level weapon, which I know you can recruit him later. I've never recruited him, so maybe this game I might. But I need to double check if he requires you to be evil because I don't know.
No, well, actually, it's for plot reasons.
Yeah,
he's actually very easy to recruit. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay, but in terms of scale, maybe I'm jumping the gun then by judging it and saying I'll just say then it's very hard to stay evil unless you have like your dark elf guy a hard cap that forces you to be negative 10. Because I know that if you pick the background of demon pact, made a pact with the devil or demon, or if you pick the dark elf background, you get like a negative 20 or negative 10 respectively, like bottom limit. It forces you to stay evil alignment. But otherwise, like my guy is always floating around like a 10 or 20 kind of range. Even though my guy is stealing shit all the time, backstabbing people literally and figuratively, he does some good deeds too, because the quests are often people asking for help and you have to do the quest to get experience. But, I'd say he's a very gray character. And so far he's definitely leaned. So I guess that's my issue with it. I know you can milk homeless people for good and evil. So you can always adjust yourself up and down by just, you walk up to a homeless person or talk to them and say, get a job, you slag. And you get 2 negative, or you say, oh, here's 2 coins. And you get 2 positive.
Yeah, you just pull a Bateman on them.
Yeah, exactly. Pull out the chainsaw, your steampunk chainsaw.
Why don't you just get a damn job?
But anyways, that's an alignment to keep in mind because I don't think she'll join you for evil. I know her and definitely a future character checks if you're good or evil, and if you kill good people, they'll actually get upset with you and they'll leave your party. That's a whole other thing you got to deal with.
Yeah, I had a character. I played ahead a little bit, so I had Magnus in my party when I firebombed that bitch. And he's like, I cannot stand for this any longer. I am leaving your party.
Mhm.
And my character's like, well, her body's still smoking in the corner. I'm like, so is there anything I can do? He's like, oh yeah, just give me some dwarven snuff. Nothing. I think his direct quote is, nothing some dwarven snuff can't fix.
Yeah.
So I just went over to Dolan's. He hooked me up with that dwarven snuff, and he's like, okay, I'm good now.
As her body smolders in the corner. Hey, here's $5 pack of cigs, bro. We're good, right? You can light it on her corpse. Oh, a dwarf never says no to a fine smoke. Yeah,
That's something you would say too.
yeah. I know because I played ahead too, so I've been Magnus posting in my head.
Yeah, and you know what's a great touch? I know this is a little bit of a side, but with mechanics and storytelling, this is actually really, really in detailed thing. Actually, is that with Magnus, if you try to take his gauntlets, because I was like inventory shuffling around.
Oh, don't get to Magnus yet. Don't get to Magnus yet. We will do Magnus.
Well, the point I was trying to make was that basically the details of the narrative is that you interact with characters' inventories. Because in Bethesda games, like for example, when I mentioned like when you go into an inn in Arcanum and they ask you about the Zephyr, you know, when a bad bitch or the big titty housewife asks you if you're the Zephyr dude, you want to say yes, but you don't know if a Malachian hand dude overhears you, and then he says, this is Malachian hand sends his regards, and he tries to stab you to death. Right, so you actually are cautious about revealing information.
Oh, did he attack without you speaking with him? He just heard it?
Or yeah, no, but you get you get lulled. I don't think so. You get lulled into speaking to the women,
right,
and then
right.
you speak to him, and then you do the exact same thing. You just reveal it because you feel like you're hot shit.
Yeah,
and then this half orc just cuts you in half.
Yeah, exactly. And then I love that aspect of it. It makes you paranoid in a way that makes the main quest feel more relevant, right? Because you're like, oh damn, I actually am. My guy's being hunted.
Yeah, because Bethesda games, for example, they're always obsessed with giving you a title, the Soul Survival, the Lone Wanderer, right? And the problem, for example, a great example of this actually is in Fallout 4 with the Soul Survivor. You know, when you walk into the main city in Soul Survivor, the Diamond City, you meet this cute, very hot pixie dream girl, extremely attractive Piper, the companion from Fallout 4. And she's like, hey, I'm the newspaper girl. I'm a journalist. Are you the sole survivor? Tell me all about your backstory. And it's just there for flavor, basically, flavor text.
And everyone wants to suck your dick, too. It's like, or in BioWare games, right? It's like, wow, you're Commander Shepard? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Which I love Mass Effect, but the first one. But the rest I'm like, meh. But it makes you... It plays out this like god hero fantasy, which is fun. It's a game, I get it, but this makes you feel like part of the world in a way, like a humbler part of the world, right? Because you're especially at level 5 or whatever. You're like, oh, I just blew in from out of town. I'm just some guy. Hey man, I guess it's a sense of verisimilitude. It's like it, or what's the meme game thing where it's like the mechanics match the narrative, ludonarrative, not dissonance,
ludonarrative harmony.
It's ludonarrative harmony, where you're like, oh god, I feel the way my character would feel in the situation because mechanically I'm bound by the rules of this world, and I feel like a small fish in this big pond relative because this guy's like level 15, I'm level 5.
Right, and you get that from the gnome in the Shrouded Hills, when he says, "Oh, I'm the brother of one of the passengers here. Can you mind giving me that ring, by the way?" And you have to hide the fact that you're just mechanical consequences for you having an open. It punishes you for being a Bethesda protagonist. No, if you want your name on the radio, there will be consequences for having your name on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Wild Bill Hickok or Billy the Kid or even the modern day Salman Rushdie. Right? If you're saying, yeah, I'm Muslim, but guess what? I don't like Islam. I think Islam is cringe.
Yeah.
A proper, a trad, the version of like, Deus Vult, Jihad 1488, it's going to come jump on stage and stab you in the eyeball. And so when you have a reputation, it goes both ways. Or same thing with John Lennon, for example. When you have a reputation, it goes both ways in Arcanum. And so you have this, you're forced to role play, even if you don't into role playing mechanically. If you just focus on mechanics, man, I don't want to get in a fight right now. No, I'm not the guy for this ever. So
Mhm.
even if you're not into role playing, the mechanics, no, I don't want to say force you,
Yeah,
but yeah, you kind of are forced
they
into it
urge
because
you
they're
because you start to get anxious about like this is going to incite an incident. I'm going to make a scene if I start talking about this shit right now.
yeah, and the mechanics and the story and the narrative are in such a harmonious state and such a synchronized state. You literally cannot interact just with mechanics without interfering with the other.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you can't go on a killing spree and and of course the quest central NPCs just get right back up on the ground. And again, no, there's consequences to killing sprees. There's consequences to you running your mouth and you wanting to get that sweet reputation bonus.
I do want to tie back to what I was referencing with the magic tech meter, or sorry, we have the good evil, then there's the magic tech meter. I just want to cover it because Jaina is relevant. She'll only join you if you are 10 points in favor of tech. And so, every time you put a point into a tech aligned skill, or you into a technology to build it, or you put points into a magical spell, it moves you. I forget how many. Let's just say like 5 points. It moves you like 5 points one way or the other. I think the skills are actually less. It's like you moves you like 2.5 points, and like and inventions moves you like 5. It's something like that. Uh, it moves you along, and it pretty naturally shifts you one way or the other. Why would you want to be on one side or the other? The technology being on one side, if on the for the magic side, it actually makes your spells stronger because, like with harm spell, it actually uses your magic level as like multiplier, or it's not multiplier, it's not that powerful, but it decides whether your damage range is 1 to 8 or 30 to 40 for the harm spell. So a mage with 0 tech magic aptitude, or God forbid tech aptitude, is going to have a really pitiful output of damage from the harm spell for the same amount of fatigue cost. And then for a tech guy, you're going to have and both if you use inventory items from the other alignment, you're going to have critical failure chance that shows up at the bottom of your little information when you hover over the item. And there's also something called complexity. Is this something you're aware of, Gabe? I don't think it shows you in the game without the description mod that I added, and it's in the notes of the episode. You didn't add the description mod, did you?
No, I'm close as vanilla as possible. I don't think I even had that gun mod you told me about.
Okay, and are you aware of like tech complexity, magic complexity? I don't think it talks about it at all. But have you seen
Nope,
that term?
nope. I'm pure virgin in
Okay,
this
good.
regard.
Yeah, no, I suspect it because I remember it not being something I was aware of until this mod I got a week or so back. So, what is magic complexity, tech complexity? Every magic or tech item, and you know whether it's magic or tech because the background of the little logo, when you hover over it, will have a little gear or a little, I forget what the magic is, but something magical looking. They have a number that to get the full value of it, you have to be at that complexity level. So with the mod I have, which I recommend people have, it'll say TC, short for tech complexity, 20. So that means unless you have a tech level, alignment level of 20 or greater, more tech, you're not going to get the full value of that thing. So it means you're going to have more critical misses. You're going to have, if it gives you like a stat bonus, like a charged ring gives you more dexterity, it'll give you like a half bonus if you have less or significantly less than that. Same for magical items. So you have a magic staff, it gives you additional stamina or whatever. It'll, if the magic complexity is 50, every bit of under 50 on the magical alignment side you get less of that bonus. Once you get to that full, whatever the complexity level is, you get the full bonus. Above, I don't think you get anything extra. So hopefully that makes it a little more clear, like some of the reason why it matters. And you can play a middling character. I was thinking about playing my guy as more of a middle of the road character. I might still do it. We'll see, but you miss out on being able to use items to their full effect. Because if you're a 0 alignment guy, you're not going to be able to get the full benefit of tech items. You're not going to get the full benefit of magic items, but you can use both. Okay. So it might shake out. I'm sure actually it would. I'm sure you could, there's many viable builds in that middle range. But
Oh, it's like in Fallout, you try to use a heavy weapon, but you only have a strength of 3. you technically can use it, but it's gonna be it's gonna be dog shit if you not like if you have a high strength and a high big gun skill.
Exactly. Yeah. So if a Tech 50 guy he finds an incredible magic sword, he can use it, but he's going to have, first of all, he's going to get a very marginal or no like stamina bonus from it, and the his crit fail chance, that means the chance of him damaging himself by accident, is probably going to be like plus 20% or something crazy. So that means he's going to like chop off his own arm like way more often than you or I would, with a more appropriate build for whatever the weapon was. But
And
yeah.
what that's a part of I recently shared a clip with you of Tim Cain explaining in much thorougher ways and much more hands-on description of Todd's Law,
Mm-hmm.
is that he kind of likes this idea of being a fuck up. He likes this idea of potentiality of the protagonist fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Your character actually has to commit to know what they're doing.
Yeah, or just make a mistake. I do like this. Really does make it viable to be like, okay, I'm leaning 10 on the tech side, but I found a really great magical sword. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to use it. And you know what? You're going to crit fail some, but it might actually be worth it to do the dumb thing and use the other side's thing at that point, until you're really far along the spectrum of alignment. Yeah, I think this kind of invites that imperfect situational gameplay where you're like, okay, I'll do this because it kind of makes sense now, even though my guy, this isn't the most obvious setup for him. And that's very like narratively rich. Like for me, later on, well, actually, no, already in Shrouded Hills, I used a magical sword because it was better than what I had. And it kind of fits my guy. It kind of fits where he was in the world at the time. And you're not narrowly locked into, in D&D, it almost gets too autistic where you're assigned, oh, I'm a ranger, so I use sickles. And it's like, well, who decided that? Why do rangers use sickles or druids or whatever? There's a lot of weird, you get assigned like a whole set of things based on your character, whereas this is so open and you get these minor but growing penalties, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
it's fantastical typecasting because, like, for example, let's say you're a mechanical character. You could be a mechanical character, but you're just, you're into just spamming as much as you can, therapeutics, getting as much endurance, you're high up as possible, and being a melee character. You're a mechanical brawler,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get your speed, you need to get the pyrotechnic axe as quickly as possible. You're a brawler in terms of mechanics, or like or spamming bear traps and stuff like this. Versus another kind of mechanical character, which is like grenade throwers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just because you're a mechanical character, you don't get instant plus 10 to throwing, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like with my character, right? Because I was not proficient in, as you saw, as everyone saw in that clip of me basically dropping firecrackers at their feet.
Yeah,
But
didn't have
this,
the throw skill yet.
I think that's a great example of that, actually, because just like with your magic sword, the stun grenade is extremely useful in that situation. But I'm shit at it in terms of proficiency.
Mm.
So you got to take that chance. Of course, other than save scumming, of course. You can always just, when in doubt, just save scum it out. But that's another example of that as well, because you're not fantastically typecasted, basically.
Yeah, typecasting is a good way to put it. That you're invited to try these different things, and especially when you don't have the clarity on some of the inner rules, which the mod I mentioned gives, which I think is actually a net benefit because you can still make those decisions, but you're a little bit more informed, like about the tech complexity thing I mentioned, which is I think, an interesting stat where it makes you more aware of why being a base centrist has downsides. Because I was leaning towards doing that, but at this point I'm probably like, I think I'm just going to go more of a tech. I'm still more of a skill heavy build. And I'd say as I've been playing this more and more, I'm convinced that Arcanum is more skill focused in terms of where you should be putting your points initially than attributes. Though attributes are still, some of them are still very relevant, but quite a few of them are more just about getting access to higher levels of skills or spells.
Well, or and again, this is also about trade-offs. Like, no matter your character, if you just dump a bunch in charisma, you can just have a whole ass army with you.
True. Yeah.
Have them do 90% of the fighting.
Yeah, just have like eight guys charging for you. I think that was it for my 101. I just want to continue this kind of 101 series, cover the alignments, the good and evil, and then magic and tech, which was magic and tech came up before in Shrouded Hills as like a thematic battle, but then mechanically that's roughly how I think that roughly captures most of it,
because it reinforces the theme for all intents and purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting once you're like you start relying on Virgil so much to heal you, but once you get more and more into mechanical into technology,
Mm-hmm.
you put on your heal lesser wounds potion. Like, wait a minute, that's not it. It doesn't do shit anymore.
It ain't hitting like it used to, Doc.
You're not hitting it like it used to, and it's such an interesting thing. Like, oh fuck, I committed. I now have to commit to the damn bit now.
Mm-hmm.
Like Virgil, I can't just use Virgil as a crutch anymore. And I roasted the damn roasty who was able to heal me mechanically.
Yeah. I'm curious how he resolves this. It sounds like Build-A-Bomb has really put himself in a pickle. Fortunately, you can make your own. Like, it's just one point into that, so I guess that's an easy solution. But it's nice to have a lady that takes care of you. I don't know what to say.
Yep. Sorry, too stone cold. I'm too busy focusing on the Industrial Revolution and its consequences. Women just get in the way, dude.
Burn that bitch. And after this, I recruited her. I think we hit Duns or whatever, the guy who owns the shop you mentioned. I think I got
Dolan.
her. Yeah, I got her like a knife, a dagger, because I want to have some. She starts with zero fucking equipment. She's literally just wearing a dress, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll go into the wilds with you." It's like, damn, lady, let's get you something to stab people with.
Actually, you know what? You got a programming femcell. You got. Oh my god! You know that meme was like, "I'm saving myself for a pure trad wife," and the on the right side of the meme, it's a girl in the wheat fields. I'm saving myself for a dumpster. Like an incel online chud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If only I could find an insane internet addicted weirdo.
You got the digital version of Radfem Hitler, basically, 4-year-old that's still living it.
Yeah, she's maybe romance will blossom. We'll have to wait and see. The Maddox Burroughs, Jaina Styles romance.
The 40-year-old femcell.
40-year-old manlet. It really is. It's a Radfem, Hitler, and Hanania. It's basically their story in fantasy.
Oh my god, you're a 4 foot like height Hanania.
Yeah,
that's what your character looks like now. Canonically,
vaguely Semitic, hideous monster character.
Like he looks so gnomish. He looks so gnomish, but technically he's not a gnome.
Yeah,
he's actually just a Palestinian or
I'm actually a
halfling.
I don't know if you know that. I'm not a gnome. I'm just short. Don't lump us together. But I left Dernholm at that point. Do you have anything else on Dernholm at this point? I think we might hit it again after Tarant for we'll do a swing by here in Blackroot or here and somewhere else for a little bit of leveling before we BMC it up. We leave in Dernholm. For me, I got Jaina in tow. For you, Stone Cold in both of your playthroughs. You got two bros going to the woods. I hit the Wolf Den. Did you hit the Wolf Den on the way back?
No, I don't think I hit the wolf. I got the ancient maze. I actually survived a decent amount of the ancient maze.
Oh, I didn't do the ancient maze. Okay, so
it's right up north of Dernholm, like northwest.
I'll hit that when we go back down, and maybe you can hit the Wolf Den then. I'll just say the Wolf Den. It'll probably be a cakewalk when you get to it. It's kind of the reason I suggested covering it was it's kind of like a meme dungeon. There's not much to it. You go in. There's a couple rats. You go left. I think there's like a couple spiders and you find like a minor tread, nothing much, and you go right, there's a mother wolf with a bunch of little wolf cubs, and the wolf cubs it's the an army of tiny horses versus one giant horse. This is the army of cat-sized horses attacking you. All these little wolves will do damage if they hit. There's a shitload of them, and I just Molotov cocktail just burned all those little bastards down.
And this is where you cheese because of it's the weird hybrid of real time and turn based. Mm-hmm. That's where you just spam the taskbar. You know what I mean? You go to real time temporarily, just spam the Molotov, then you go to turn based to get the lay of the land, and that's when you cheese the shit out of the mechanics.
Yeah, For me,
Uh,
true cell, true blue gamer. I just did a all turn base because then they line up for you so nicely. Then you just
well,
drop the hammer with like I dropped like 4 Molotovs on these kids.
well, that's the way it's initially intended. If I recall correctly, Tim King literally said the initial game was envisioned as turn-based. He really likes turn-based. He's like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things you can do mechanically with turn-based, but ever since Boulder's Gate, it just there's no way like a studio's going to sign off. It's like the same thing
Mhm.
with Resident Evil and tank controls, like or controlled cameras.
Oh right, yeah, yeah,
It's the RPG equivalent of that. Like, there's no big production studio's going to write you a check for turn-based.
yeah. Which I don't get. I find it satisfying to just kind of have these controlled turn flow, and you can just kind of think through your stuff. But two reasons I mentioned it: one, the baby wolf cub meme, because they'll just rape you if they get up on you. They definitely killed me on my first time in because I was like, oh, just try and knife them all. No, dude. They once they get through, they do some damage, and then there's like 8 of them, so they just tear you apart. But just because, and I'm not going to keep mentioning the magic chest, it's just because it's kind of like a funny meme. I had the first chest. I can't remember. It was like nothing. There was like some like coins or something. It's like 20 coins. And the second chest, if you remember, magic chest, these like the highly randomized loot things. Like literally was an empty chest.
Oh yeah,
This one,
Kane cucked you
I
hard.
got the Cain cut cornered. This one I actually got something good. So I just wanted to round out my coverage, round out my reporting on this whole thing by saying I finally got some good shit. I got like a mystic mace, which is not the highest, but the second highest. Like magical enchantment, generic enchantment level, and so I gave that to Virgil. So I actually got some good loot for once. And then I think it was just like some gold or little knickknacks. And I leveled up again. I think I was level 7 or 8 at this point. So kind of like really fired up, and then made it.
Well,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, Papa.
No, do you have anything else on the journey?
And near at this point, that's when I realized, well, I think we're an hour in. I could give a little treat to the guns
A
people
tasteful
trying to do
treat.
a tasteful treat for the gunslinger builds. And it's if you want to put that fate point to use as a gunslinger build, uh, I may have cheesed it just a little bit, just
Mm.
a classic little cheese move.
A
I
chintz of
did
cheese.
a chintz of cheese, a crunch of cheese. I may have sped run to Tarant just so I can get the one gnome with the hand cannon in his
Mm.
inventory. I did use that fate point to grab it
Mm.
because the hand cannon is like what 5 to 12 points of damage. So
Yeah.
so now I think it's necessary just because even with the revolver from the bank, especially since bullets are so expensive,
Just get
and
the mod, dude. Why do you not get the mod?
but I want to try as vanilla as possible.
Mm. But you're playing a
And
dark
it's
elf.
okay. Other than some mild background
All
changes.
right, and
in
call
Dark
out time. I saw you using the ring. It's in the episode. It's in the first or second episode. You using the fate ring give yourself some points. So I'm gonna call fake sell on these claims of playing it as raw as possible.
Well, and also I actually genuinely like that character. I never pickpocketed him before.
Mhm.
He's the funny gnome. He's the race. Everyone. Right wing groups. Everyone's friends as long as everyone is equally racist. I always liked his character.
Yeah,
So I found it deeply amusing that one funny side character I liked like shooting the breeze and bantering with. He's the one in all of Toronto with the hand
like the
cannon in
most
his
super
inventory.
powered handgun. Yeah.
The edge lord, like shit lord banterer character. The comic side relief is packing
Mhm.
the hand cannon.
It's honestly just an equalizer though. With the raw game, if you have the mod I recommend in the show notes, the consider it guns mod, you're good. I think the guns are very well balanced. Without that, yeah, like everything, like every gun you see between level like 1 and 15 is just dog shit, and you have to pay to use it. And another reason I think they're bad is you don't get any stat bonuses. So if you're using melee, you get a strength bonus because you're probably going to put points into strength. And so you actually get additional attack damage from that. Whereas with guns, you don't, because it's just to hit is based on perception, range based on actually it's not even based on perception. It's the hit's largely based on your skill on the firearm, and damage is just what the gun does. and it's usually not that good, and the speed's not that good.
Actually, you know, would have been a very easy fix for this. That's
Mm.
actually balanced as well, and also will lend into the mechanics because there's batteries. If you
Mm.
could make electric bullets or make you just make your gun electric powered, so like there's like some shock damage to it
Are you
as
saying they
well,
need energy weapons skill in Arcanum?
like a taser, basically like a medieval version of a taser.
Tasers would be actually a great addition, like especially an early build, like an early weapon. You get like a melee electric weapon that's maybe not high damage, but I don't know, has like other benefits like stun or
It stuns
something.
them.
Yeah.
It stuns them. So like for example, so you get like two springs, an electric battery or a Tesla coil, and one fancy pistol. You trade or revolver parts or gun parts you find in a trash can. Trash cans, by the way, don't sleep on the trash cans. Actually, you can for Molotov players, you can find a lot of rags in trash cans.
Oh yeah, the amount of tampons I've collected to repurpose into weapons, you wouldn't believe it, Gabe. That's basically my guy is in a rag run economy for his high damage output.
Yeah, burning down the bourgeoisie or the pheromones of period bloods.
The trash cans are essential if you're doing any kind of tech build because you're just going to find,
Dumpster
yeah,
diving.
dumpster dive. I mean, it's not the most glamorous or the most, it's a little time consuming, but it pays off.
Yeah, the little Hananiac mechanics at the dumpster dive while the elves are just teleporting all over the place.
um,
Going super fast with their potions of haste.
oh, I did swing by Shrouded Hills too, just to mention it. I forgot. I think I just did some shopping, and then I did level up my guy. I went more tech at this point, based on like exactly the stuff we were talking about. I built. This is actually where my build is starting to really come together. I built charged rings. Every charged ring you build gives you +2 dexterity. So my guy has +4 dexterity from charged rings. I also know one spell, Agility of Fire, which gives me +4 agility. So it's +8 agility for your boy Matic Burrows. And I also, on the way to that, I got the technology because I did put 2 points into electric tech. I got the hand light, which I noticed in your video you were getting dark penalties. So just something to be aware of. You might want to buy a lamp there, a night light. And so my guy has in his shield hand like a little light. I gave one to what's her name, Jaina as well.
Man, you're already simping. You're just showering her with fucking.
Would my lady enjoy a fine light so she may read her medical books?
I can just imagine this little goblin Hanania just reeking with tampon.
Tampon powered lamp. Uh, hey, when I said it was a whale oil lamp, I didn't say what animal, what kind of whale it came from.
You've been dumpster diving at Pearl's place again. I see.
Aye, she's a big lass. So yeah, I swung tech at the end of this period. We mentioned we played ahead, so we'll get into Tarant in the next episode, but that's kind of the way I am going into that. And otherwise, yeah, just I'm still backstabby, thiefy. How about your guy? Have you guys or either of your builds at this point, what's their design generally?
Well, I build a bomb. I'm finally now in a much more stronger position with build a bomb than I am with Mordecai.
Mm.
With Melkor Mordecai, I think I named him. Because I know it'd be much more of a easy to breeze with him with Mordecai, but with a tech build, I'm starting to have fun with the tech build.
Mm.
Especially with a hand cannon, right? And hand cannon, and maybe extra 5,000 gold in my pocket with a certain ring. Because you could blow, you could go into the sewers and blow up like vault doors. You could blow up chests.
Once we get to Tarant, you mean?
Yeah,
There'll be a lot of stuff in Tarant you can do. But I mean, this is all before Tarant, so you wrapped up Dernholm and all that, or immediately leaving Shrouded Hills. What was their build at level 7 or whatever?
Well, at 11, I started to develop. I wanted to get more into grenades. I felt like grenades was more necessary for build a bomb.
Hmm.
Especially with the ability to stun lock. I wanted to get quickly to stuns. I want something that stacks.
That's smart.
Something that actually crowd control. Because especially when they swarm you. Because the thing is, at that point, I was still relying on Virgil for healing. Because with Virgil around, there's no reason to do any like put any points into healing, like none.
It really is an
Like
oh shit moment. You mentioned it earlier. Like once his shit starts to fail on you, like that happened to me midway through this, where like I planned to get Jane already, but I was like, wow, this is this is it really ain't hitting like it used to because I'm in deep shit. I'm getting eaten alive by wolves, and he can't heal me. I need to find another skill set.
yeah, so you have no choice but to either go to therapeutics or and also start leveling up your healing skill. So instead of going through the tech tree and getting to the cool shit, you have to be a little bitch boy, getting your healing skills.
Wait, you went healing skill with Build a Bomb?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Okay.
His stuff didn't stop hitting.
Yeah, there's no. All it does is it makes a different sound. Instead of going, it's more of like a.
It's a little whimper. It's a vocal version of Edie.
Yeah, it's different, but there's no dice roll log or the equivalent in this game, which actually would be kind of useful to have or something to summarize. It's one of the handful of features I kind of would be handy, or just something to make you really notice, like, oh, by the way, or something to report on other characters' actions in your party. Because yeah, similarly, it was and I know like good way of tracking how often he was failing. I was just kind of eyeballing it.
Right. Yeah, you start slow. It's a very organic way, and again, the sound design. Again, to use that Reddit essay meme, it's ludonarrative harmony. Even the sound design tells you a story about the world and how your reactions to the world and the consequences of your actions within that world, because you have been freebasing, tampons and the mechanist dumpsters. You simply magic simply does not your bloodstream is filled with all this mechanical bullshit, this techno bullshit, right? It doesn't hit like it used to.
And it's only gonna get better because right now we're standing on the doorstep. We're on the front porch of Tarant, where it's just. I mean, you want to talk about garbage bins, and you want to talk about variety.
It's a paradise.
Yeah, it's probably. I won't say necessarily the peak of the game, but it is like it's a really high, and it's a point. Well, you come back to Tarant, several times. It sort of becomes the home base of the game, essentially located. And yeah, we'll do a whole probably 2 at least episodes just on this first run of it.
To give a little bait to the audience, for a little clickbait, vocal clickbait, it's basically the New Vegas area without loading screens and also with all the cut content added, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because in reality, it basically is combined Freeside and a New Vegas New Vegas strip, all in one, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. I didn't even know there was modded content for New Vegas, sorry, cut content. But
oh, dude, there's a 6-hour documentary basically on all the cut stuff. New Vegas is like 90% cut content at this point.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, no, I'm super excited for Tarant, and I'm like, I'm almost like, how do we cover it? I don't want to do a disservice to it because it's
well, you notice there's actually a neat little foreshadowing, because you get exposed to your very first newspaper. If you don't go directly to Tarant, you still get introduced to the newspaper mechanics via Cumbria and Dernholm. It's the first thing you see on the ground.
Oh yeah, they're talking about the war. Yeah, so you already have kind of a connection there. And then obviously in Shrouded Hills, you hear about it. It's praised by Ritzes. He talks about it, how he wishes he was there, how cool it was, and kind of all arrows. Oh, the other thing though is Joachim. I forgot that. That's what I was trying to remember at the beginning. Joachim also said he's going to send us a telegram there. So we kind of have those 2 leads both pointing us there. The Virgil, Joachim, like Panari angle of get more details there, and then you have the ring, and find out these P. Schuyler and Sons. So yeah, next time we'll investigate both of those in the first part for sure. And
it's actually personal foreshadowing and political foreshadowing, right? Because personal. So what does Tarant have to do with me as in the character, right? Well, I just survived this blimp. I have this ring that was given to me by this weird looking gnome. It was very strange looking gnome. He gives me the ring. And so I'm apparently a resurrected god. I have this weird people wearing this necklace with the Malachian hand trying to kill me over it. Virgil is from a cult that's from Tarant or near Tarant. So I got the personal, which is I have to, in order to get these people off my back, I have to go to Toronto to find out what the hell's going on, even for personal safety reasons and for plot reasons to see, am I the resurrection of this character? Am I going to defeat the big baddie at the end? And also, when you go to Dernholm, you find that newspaper. So Tarant is a place, it is Rome in terms of the personal, in terms of the plot, in terms of the mystery, finding out what the hell's going on, your personal safety, and the political center. It's the political center, the plot center, and the mystery center. And all these three ways to hook the player inter, intertwine with each other and organically flow into Toronto. So I thought the newspaper was such a great touch because even because Dernholm is so like isolated. The South map early stage is very isolated from the plot at this point. At this point where you are, you're basically just in fantasy, literally in fantasy land for all intents and purposes. With knights, it's more classical, like Lord of the Rings, down south. But you have this little hook to make sure, hey, it's still part of this even this so-called, fantastical reactionary fantasy land area. The fingers of modernity are still reaching out towards you. There's no escape from the main revolution. The little wisps of steam are starting to be smelled, even in the England's green lands.
Yeah, and I want to put the question to you, Gabe, as playing it through it this way, differently than you have in the past. If there is a canon way to play Arcanum, what is the canon order? Should leaving Shrouded Hills? Do you think it's on a future playthrough, hypothetically, would you go straight to Tarant? Do you think going down here makes sense?
Narratively, it makes, objectively, probably speaking, makes more sense because your character, after speaking to the merchant in Shrouded Hills, it makes more sense to go directly to Tarant because of the not the newsletter, the telegram that Yoakum sends to Virgil, right? But in terms of keeping that mystery, it's like another Troika thing. Do you play as the Malkavian in your first playthrough or your second playthrough?
Yeah, it's definitely a second playthrough thing. This one is.
I actually disagree. I think playing Malkavian as your first playthrough would be a really amazing experience.
You have no idea what any of the hints are, though. I guess that's the point.
You had to pay attention. No, you could. I think you could, if you pay it close enough attention, you could work your way into getting those references and really paying attention. Because it puts you in the mindset. Your character, it's yet again ludonarrative. You and the Malkavian both don't know what the fuck is coming out of your mouth, by the way. So you're actually aligned one for one with it. Because you choose a Malkavian the second time around, you the player are like this weird Gnostic ghost that's like basically smirking. You're the demiurge smirking at this dumb retard. Oh, you don't even know what's going to happen, do you, Malkavian? You just have little hints. But I actually, if I were to replay Vampire again, I would truly have told my younger self to play Malkavian first. I think there'd be a very interesting way to slowly like build up these puzzle pieces in my back pocket and slowly try to assemble them as I go along. And I think going to Dernholm first is the equivalent of choosing Malkavian to your first time around rather than your second time around. It's like playing your thief build, for example. Like you're not playing a high persuasion character. You're basically playing this version of Nosferatu in a lot of senses, basically.
I agree. I think mechanically you're forced to. Well, you're not forced to do it. Because you can just take the tech heal yourself. It's not a huge lift. So you really don't need Jaina, but you're kind of if you don't want to invest that point or you don't want to be in intelligence, you are a little bit. I don't know. I'm really torn on it. I do agree. Narratively, it just makes sense to go straight to Tarant. This was kind of a fun, different way to do it and kind of explore these ideas. I think in a future playthrough, I would go straight to Tarant, though, unless I was doing tech, and then I'd do this diversion like I just did, pick up Jaina, get the hell out. But you know what? The more I learn about it and being able to turn off auto leveling, I think I would just make Virgil force him like right at the start of the game into like tech healing, and I would make him not be as magically inclined with a tech build in the future.
Right. Well, but the very fact that it's an option, like, because Tim Cain brings this up in Fallout 1, Like with the cons that hold a Tandy hostage.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you have a luck of a 9 and you dress up as a great con yourself, I think uh, everyone thinks you're the ghost of Carl Great Hand's like father.
Hmm.
So he's terrified the shit out of you. So he's like, "Oh, by all means, ghost of my father, please, please, don't haunt me. Please take the girl, take the girl." And it's such an oblique way to complete that quest. And Tim Cain's like, I'm pretty sure, I guarantee, he's like, I'm like 50-50 on whether or not people found that out organically or through scrolling through the source code,
Hmm.
right? But the very fact that one of my designers put that in there just for fun, I think it's one of the designers out of the blue decided to do that. I thought it would be funny, right? Because it gives it, yet again, a narrative reason for luck. There's actually mechanical and plot reason to have high luck. And it's just such a unique way other than bribing, stealing, fighting, talking,
Hmm.
right? It's just a fun way to complete that quest. Like if you could do it without like fucking with a budget or the time schedule, why not?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's such a fun way to complete that quest,
Yeah.
and that's part of the Cain code, right? The Cain code is most players are going to go directly to Tarant. But for the few that don't, for some reason want to either XP hoard a little bit or grind and end up accidentally in Dernholm, just in case, let's drop the Torontian newspaper right next to the statue, right?
Hmm.
And it does, so you don't have to do, because you do have the usual NPCs telling you, oh, the Torontians, they're the industrialists, we're getting our ass kicked, we're the trad larpers, we're feudal, we're trying to stay
Hmm.
pure to tradition, we're reject modernity, like praise tradition, that kind of thing. But you can do the regular NPC spouting walls of text at you. But just through the newspaper alone, talking about like the parliamentarian ranting about how Cumbrian immigrants might start a revolution and
Hmm.
start rioting, and we must invade now. Right next to that old statue of the king that's half buried. Like those two pieces of visual information alone tell you so much more and engage you so much more than a dialogue dump from an NPC
Hmm.
on the situation. And before you even talk to the king, you go to his castle and it's crumbling. The castle is literally falling apart. If you notice, it looks like it's under construction.
Hmm.
Right? It literally bits and chunks of the statue of the stones are falling off.
Yeah, but my challenge is it seems leveled for leaving Shrouded Hills, right? Jaina is level 6. I double checked. She is. And so it's assumed you'll pick her up then. Otherwise, she's going to be, if you go to Tarant, she's going to be like 10 levels less than you, in assuming you do Tarant. And Tarant, minor spoiler, doesn't really direct you back to Dernholm at all. And so you could easily just not come back here for a long ass time. So I feel like there's an assumed, and a lot of the quests here are more like fetchy, low level. There's like an assumedness that you'll do Dernholm early, I feel, but that the plot, I agree, doesn't point you towards. And it's fine to come back and be level 20 and do the fetch quest, give the old man the ring and beat him up, or be chased by him like you were. I mean, you can do that at any level; it doesn't hurt. But something doesn't quite jive, and I think it's just the game, its development, or whatever you want to blame it on. It doesn't fit neatly in terms of the play order, and that's actually a broader thought, and we can explore it as we do some of the other towns. We're going to dwell in Tarant for a while. Most of the other towns I think are a little smaller and less memorable, but every town kind of has its own flavor. But a lot of them, they don't direct you to each other as much. You want to explore it because you're having fun in the world. But it kind of contributes to, you mentioned the first episode, I think it was like an aimlessness in terms of the plot flow after the end of the major Tarant arc that we're just about to embark on. And I think it's connected to that and this broader, like, how does Dernholm fit into the ideal Arcanum playthrough? Because some games have an ideal playthrough, even if they're varied. Like, I don't know if you've played much of like the KOTOR games or BioWare games. They often have, oh, okay, you've beaten the tutorial planet. Now you can go to any of the 4 planets. But everyone that's played those games knows the order you play those worlds on. everyone has the exact same play order because there's a logical thematic flow, there's a logical challenge flow or whatever. Even though I know the planets do scale within that game, it's not a good thing or a bad thing to have that flow. But Fallout 1 and 2 have a very set flow of towns, right? Like I think in Fallout 2 is like you literally go in a horseshoe right around the map to the right. But in Arcanum, there's not a neat map like that with the towns. There's a neat order into Shrouded Hills to maybe Dernholm and then Tarant, or Shrouded Hills Tarant, and then after that it's very flowy to me.
It's a little aimless.
Yeah, and we'll see how it holds up. But I guess that's a thought I want to keep in mind.
It's kind of the Naruto problem, actually.
Naruto?
No, New Reno.
Oh, New Reno. Okay, yeah.
I was about to say, we're not going to bring the hood weeds into here. But yeah, because New Reno actually is worse than that, right? Because New Reno's 90, other than some overlays of the New California Republic here and there, and I think there's a way to find out where the vault is for New Reno, if I recall correctly. Mm. But New Reno, you get so sucked into all the side stuff in New Reno, you completely forget, oh, fuck you, like, auntie, I'm trying to get laid and become a boxer.
Yeah.
Well, with Tarant, you still have the hook of baits. You still have that hook. The hook for the main plot is still stronger and much more narratively cohesive with Tarant. Because again, the theme is so strong, it's very intertwining with every location. So the only reason why you would go to Dernholm is your character has to be a lore hound at this point, because you learn much more about how magic works. You get much more stronger hints of what's going on with the world and the prophecy. So your character is going to, by then in lore and in canon and in roleplay, is going to have an opinion whether or not Tarant should dab on Cumbria or not. Or are you going to be a true Cumbrian patriot, a dab on Nomus democracy, and assert yourself as a proper trad human monarchy, and a way and say no to GOG. Say no to GOG, Nomus occupied government.
Nice.
Speaking of GOG, we're actually affiliate link. Go to GOG.com now to put promo code Tookie for 30% off of Arcanum as we speak.
Shout out to our Polish friends.
At the Nomus occupied government.
Yeah, good. It's a good deal. I think by the time this episode comes out, there's still another week or so of the discount. So if not, just favorite it. The game goes on sale every now and then. It's only $6 not on sale, so it's really cheap regardless for how much there is. But okay, no, I think we wandered. As this is the travel episode, the travel and the Dernholm pit stop. We've made it from one end to the other. We're on the doorstep of Tarant. Our loyal listeners who are listening as they come out, they're tugged raw for Tarant, Gabe. I think they're ready for it, hopefully.
They're retaining. They've been retaining for so long.
So yeah, we'll cap it there. Very fun one. And just say, yeah, if you like this stuff and you listen all the way through, I mean, this is pretty tailor-made, specialized shit. So hopefully you appreciate our time and attention to it, and at least give us a like, comment, subscribe. Commenting is huge. Like if you throw a comment on a video, it really does boost in the algorithm, even if it's just saying GG bro, or calling us fake for the way we played the game.
All those little LMD tuggers, right? This is not for the slop fiends out there. Yeah, you want your slop? Go watch LMD. This is for top tuggers only. Yeah,
the elite core of gamers. But yeah, we have Patreon as well. We have various other things. You can follow our links on social media and all that if you're interested in seeing more. But otherwise, yeah, we're going to keep to the series. Tarant's up next. I'm super looking forward to it. An all-timer in terms of video games. So hopefully we can do it justice.
Yeah, good night, and keep tugging towards Tarant.